Hi, I've got a couple of Sublimation Clocks here with some prints from T&L vinyl. I've just done a practice one and now I'm going to do the other two. So first we have to take off the protective coating. My Cricut auto press is already on and hot enough because I've done one already. Now you only need to cover one side of the clock, obviously, for the purposes of the design. But I am probably going to sublimate the back of the clock just with a matching, just sort of plain colour or pattern, just so the clock looks a bit more finished, which makes it just a bit nicer for gifts. It was very easy to sublimate, but to get the pattern lined up on the first one, the main part of the pattern wasn't in the center because I had to move it slightly across so that the numbers weren't slightly cut off. So this time I'm going to try doing it exactly in the center and just see if then the picture lines up a bit better. I've got 3 clocks but only 2 mechanisms because I wanted to see how they go. So I'll turn the 2 that I like the picture most into a mechanism. So I've peeled one and I'm going to put the design on it first. So you can see there is the cute design. And if I exactly put it with the same amount of picture all the way around, hopefully this one will line up a little bit better. There's actually slightly less picture at the top and the bottom. I've got my heat resistant tape to stick down the image. And there's a bit of colour on the heat resistant tape from where the other pattern was. So the safer thing is not to have that on the white, just in case I do a lighter pattern on the other side. I don't want those black stripes retransferring. So I'm just going to move them so they're not touching the white back. So there I've got my little thing, and you see over there I've got a piece of paper and some old manila folder to protect the auto press. And while that one's going, I can peel this one. And I've got a hard surface to stick on top of the clock, because when you press acrylic surfaces, you actually need to make sure you've got something hard straight after it comes off the heat, because the heat softens the acrylic just a little bit and you don't want your clock to warp. So you just put something heavy on it while the clock's cooling down. And when you're using one of these weeders to take the protective coat off, you just really just want to start it, because you don't want to scratch the white acrylic at all, because that will affect the design that's being pressed onto it. That's the bead, so almost there. All right. So that one's ready to go. I've got my silicone protecting my desk. Even the manila folder gets hot. I just bring the whole thing over, leave it exactly as is, don't move anything. Put a nice heavy chopping board on top. press down on it a bit. And my third image is a butterfly. You'll see the first image in a sec, but this is the third image. And this one has more pattern around the edge. So again, I've got to be really careful to put it right in the middle. And I need some more tape. So I press these at 200 degrees Celsius for 60 seconds. And then obviously underneath this board for a bit longer, just to keep it flat until it starts to cool down. And you really don't want the image moving or ghosting. So I'm putting 6 pieces of tape around the edge. All right, now I'm just going to switch out because I want the manila folder. Okay, let's see how this one did. Beautiful. So there's my little gnome girl. She's turned out really well. So I'm just going to put her underneath here for a bit longer. She's still quite warm. And here's the other one that I did. So you'll see the numbers are all really even. They just wasn't, if I kept the one away from the edge, then this wasn't central. So when I had it upside down and I'm moving it around, I started off with it central, but it literally then had a bit of number cut off. So I chose to keep all the numbers in place, which just meant the little butterfly is slightly skew on this one. So we'll see how the other one goes. Now the manila folder gets really, really hot, so technically you should use gloves, but I was being a bit impatient. So again, under the board, and I'll put a picture of the 3 finished. Well, 2 will have clock mechanisms and 1 won't. Thank you. All right, I've put 1 together, but I forgot the hanger on the back, so I'll have to pull that one apart. Just showing you what's here. So there's the hanger, the mechanism, which will need a battery, and then there's a washer, a nut, and then the 3 hands. So the pack I got from Amazon had a few different styles and colors. So I used a sort of goldy one for the little gnome, and I'm using a red one for this rainbow. So that's now attached, just ready for a battery. So you can see with this one, the butterfly is a little skew, if not much. This one, the butterfly is right in the middle, but it cut off a tiny bit of the one there, and it cut off a tiny bit of the one there, so that I could have the butterfly more centered. And I've only got 2 clock mechanisms, so that one will get done another day. And like I said, I probably will sublimate the bag before I give them as a gift. Maybe. I haven't completely decided. But I'll just put this one back together with the hanger so that you can see the way it's supposed to go, because no instructions come with the clock mechanisms when you buy them on Amazon. They just come in a bag. And I'm not really sure why they send so many different clock mechanisms, but only 2 sets. I mean, I could have bought a set with more mechanisms, but I didn't. So that's the hanger. Obviously not that way. It needs to go that way so it's flat with the back. And there's a black washer that goes there first, then the hanger, then my little gnome lady, then the washer, then the nut, and you can see the words from behind, so you can sort of tighten it up with your hand and make sure it's pretty straight for once you're hanging it. And then there's these, I don't know if you can see, let me turn it on the side. With the mechanism, the shorter hand always goes first, and it's got a bigger hole in the circle. So that's sort of a giveaway about what order you put them in. That's got the smaller hole, so that comes next. And then the top one, the second hand, has this little thing. Now you don't have to use the second hand. They actually gave a few little screws like this, so that if you didn't want to use the second hand, you didn't have to. So you could just put in the screw and just go with the hour and the minutes. Okay, so that one's all done now with the hanger as well. So all done, 2 clocks done, and they don't take long, which is really good.